Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of Skyrim Mods of the Moment, where I'll showcase and share awareness of some of the amazing new mods that piqued my interest. Today we have new graphics mods, new animations, new quests, and some insane new armors and weapons. Grab your coffee or tea and the mod manager of your choice, because we're going modding again. The first two mods today are all about new animations to make the world of Skyrim seem more immersive and lively. First, we have the amazing skill-based dynamic animations, which, true to its name, finally brings skill-based animations to Skyrim by playing different animations based on character's skill level or race. At the time of creating this video, this mod covers 3 skills: magic, archery, and sneaking. The way this mod works is quite simple. First, you need to install any new animation mods for these 3 skills to have the effect on the characters. This mod then replaces the modded animations with vanilla animations, depending on the skill level or the amount of magica points. This mod works for both the player character and the NPC, so it brings a gameplay mechanic of determining an enemy's skill level from their animations or stance only. As the animations are based on skill level or race, exceptions are made for the Khajiit, which get the best sneaking animation by default. High Elves, Bretons, and Dark Elves get the experienced magic animations by default, and the Bosmer get the experienced archery animations by default. This adds some fresh immersion to the game for the different races of Tamriel by highlighting their strengths. Now that our skill levels can be depicted from the stances we're in, we should amp up the immersion with animations even further and show it when we're feeling the effects of Skyrim's unforgiving weather. This is something we can achieve with dynamic female weather idols. This mod adds 3 new dynamic weather type idols, which will play on the female characters depending on the weather, which are raining, snowing, and ashing? Ash flying around in Solstheim. When it's raining, the character will shield herself from the rain and she will cup her hands to catch some raindrops. When it's snowing, she will keep herself warm as well as her hands warm by gently rubbing them together. When the ash is flying around in Solstheim, she will secure the airways and shield her eyes from the flying ash. These weather-based animations really help sell the cruel climate of Skyrim and make traveling in the wilderness more immersive. And yes, right now, these are just for the female characters, but here's hoping that the mod author creates these animations for male characters as well. From Tamriel to the continent, have I ever expressed my love for the Witcher games? Every single one of them are amazing. The third one is of course my favorite, but I think the first game is so underrated, the atmosphere in it is just so palpable. As you might have already guessed, the next mod in the showcase is heavily inspired by the Witcher series. Here we have memorable bounties, Witcher-inspired quests. The mod adds a collection of 3 fully voice-acted quests of unique bounties that you can take. At the core of each of these quests is the idea that you can take the justice into your own hands or settle the conflict in another way. Just like in the Witcher quest design, the idea is that you have to make your own moral choice after hearing both sides of the conflict, forcing you to choose an outcome and live with it. I'll briefly introduce the premise of all of these 3 quests next. The quest called Sins of Silver begins at the Windhelm Inn, where you can pick up and read a bounty which is placed on the bar table. It says that there is some sort of a beast that needs killing, and if you're interested, travel to Frostholm, which is right next to the Nightgate Inn. But when we arrive at Frostholm, a man comes up running and yelling about a man who has been reaping havoc in the town. Now we just have to go investigate and see if there is anything we can do to help. Another small quest by the name of the Great Deceiver begins when you venture to Dead Man's Drink in Falkreath and pick up a bounty on a beast which is wanted for killing a family. A man residing in the woods in a small cabin will provide you with more information. This little boy's whole family was killed by some sort of a monster, and it's your job to have it disposed of. Upon finding it, this monster has his own story to tell, if you give him the chance to tell it. The third quest, The Path to Redemption, is a bounty on a dangerous bandit leader that you can pick up in Winterhold. This bandit leader resides in a small cottage by the Shrine of Azura, and upon finding him, he also has his own story to tell, as he's changed as a man and left his former life behind. All in all, I found these quests to be well written and the voice acting is high quality, and they capture the feeling of Witcher quests well. They make it feel like your choices matter to the world around you, and give a chance to shape your character's morality at the same time. Next 3 mods are all new armor mods, which I found really incredible looking and fitting in Skyrim. The first armor mod is called the Demon Slayer Armor Mashup, which is a heavy armor for female characters with physics, and it also adds 6 new weapons to the game. This mod is combined from different armor mods, composed of a cuirass, tasset, boots, and gloves. The new weapons are 4 swords, 1 bow, and 1 battle axe, which all look insanely detailed and beautiful, as does the armor set as well. This mod is unique in a way that in addition to the armors and weapons, it also adds a new dungeon, Heroes Rest Crypt, which is filled with undead enemies to fight against, and as a reward for slaying them, you'll receive these new items and equipment and other loot. This armor is fine and protective, while making your character look simply cool as heck. Additionally, if you're an ENB user, with ENB dynamic cube maps, this armor looks incredible with the real-time reflections on the surface of the metal. The next mod is something completely different and, in my opinion, much needed in Skyrim. A pack of 4 Altmer-inspired, amazingly whimsical armor sets with 2 weapons and physics. This is Aegis Anuad, which includes cohesive Altmer Steel, Altmer Wizard, Altmer Glass, and Altmer Leather armor sets. These armor sets can be crafted at the Forge, and they are also featured on new loading screens with some fitting lore on them. There are also some variation pieces to the armors and the helmets, all of them beautifully one of a kind. I just absolutely adore this sort of unique armor sets that are specifically created with a certain race and their culture in mind, expanding Skyrim to reach other parts of Tamriel as well. Overall, the design and attention to detail is masterclass with these armors, and I highly recommend them for your high elf characters or followers. The third new armor mod I'll showcase today is the gorgeous The Hinterland Ranger, which is a unisex armor also with physics enabled. There are 4 versions of the armor, 2 of which are leather tier and have 2 color options: brown with gold trim and black with silver trim. There are also 2 robes, Azure Hinterland robes and Radiant Hinterland robes. The armors can be crafted at the Forge under the leather or miscellaneous category. While this one is very simple, practical and lightweight, the details on it are done masterfully. Just look at how the leather shines so pretty. Next, let's dive into perhaps my favorite category in this video. We are looking at some incredible new mods that enhance the graphics of Skyrim. As we were just looking at new armors, I thought this one would be fitting for our first graphics mod to be showcased in this category, ElSopa Shield Redone Part 1. This mod is the first part of redesigning all of the vanilla and DLC shields in the game, and covers about half of them, including such items as Dragonbone and Dragonscale shields, Dawnguard shields, and Iron shields. The remade shields are performance friendly, and do I even need to say this? They look insanely cool. Just look at this dragon head as a shield. I love the idea and the execution. Even if you don't generally use shields, these beautiful things make you want to collect them anyway and maybe put them on display in your player home. Now all we need to do is just wait patiently for the part 2 of the mod, and then all of Skyrim's shields are finalized and perfect. The next mod on the list is the amazing Children of the Pariah by one of my favorite modders of all time. It was actually released some time ago, but now its update and re-release on Nexus is a good enough reason for me to showcase it in this video. It is an NPC overhaul covering all the named orcs, completely redesigning the appearances of the Orsimer people in Skyrim. The mod aims to make them appear less like caricatures and more like authentic characters with expressive faces, taking into account such things as familial ties, stronghold representation, and their individual background stories. To take a couple of orc gentlemen, for example, Urag the librarian at the College of Winterhold has gotten spectacles to highlight his studious nature. Lordbook the bard at Morthal, on the other hand, looks younger and quite dapper, just as I would imagine a fellow bard. The orcs of a stronghold share the similar color of their war paint to make them seem more united with their communities. On top of that, any orcs who are related share some facial features. All of this just makes sense and is really nice to have in the game. Children of the Pariah is a great mod for giving the Orsimer of Skyrim some individuality, but at the same time visually uniting them with the clans they belong to. About time orcs get some love, and installing this mod in your Skyrim is a good way of showing it. Let's move on to everyone's favorite city, Whiterun, which I have 2 new mods for making its textures absolutely beautiful. TB's Parallax Whiterun Walls and TB's Parallax Whiterun Roads both come with 3 different variations to choose from, all with Parallax support if you want to make them look more realistic. Today I'm comparing these textures versus vanilla, disabling the noble Skyrim textures I usually use. Let's begin with the roads. As I already mentioned, there are 3 variations and you can choose the one you like the best. The first one is a worn out cobblestone road, the second is a rocky dirt style road with leaves and nature pieces on it, and the third looks like a fresh new road. I think I like the new road the most for being so clean, so now that's a choice out of the way, we can check out the new wall textures. Again, 3 types of different stone walls to choose from, all of them looking quite phenomenal in my opinion. Whichever variations you choose for your game, together these textures freshen up Whiterun, hits the mark of making it look considerably better, as the mod title already suggests. Now, I still have 1 mod left in the video, so don't go anywhere yet. It just might be a much needed cozy addition to your game. It is called Benches of Skyrim, Take a Seat and Unwind. The mod adds dozens of different benches and chairs around the province for the purpose of giving you, a weary traveler, a place to rest and just enjoy the landscape for a while. To directly quote the mod page, embrace the comfort and tranquility you deserve as you uncover the hidden beauty of the land 1 bench at a time. Sure enough, the idea of this mod is simple, but as a certified cozy gamer, I really appreciate that someone made this vision come true. The resting places fit the environment they're placed in, and they are different, ranging from being simple to being detailed like this solitude lookout place here. If there's no hurry to go save the world from Alduin, it's hard to resist taking a moment to sit down and just take in the beautiful views of Skyrim. I want to give my biggest thank you to the channel's Patreon supporters who make it possible for me to keep creating these little YouTube videos. I am eternally so grateful for all of my patrons, and a special shout out to my amazing Tavern's legendary patrons, Star095, Ryan Ulrich, Timofey and Apeli. If you're interested in helping me create more content, check out patreon.com/bardscollegegraduate. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please do press the like button if you enjoyed any of it, and let me know in the comments if these mods were interesting to you. I have all the mod links listed in the description box, as well as my tech specs, and a link to my mod list if you're curious to see my setup. Thank you again, take care, and see ya!